Good evening, everybody. My name is Kayla. I am with National Training. I'd like to thank you guys all for joining us tonight. We've got a good webinar planned for this evening. We're going to have a great guest, Mr. Donnie Graves. He will jump on here in just a couple minutes. While we're waiting on everybody to finish logging in, we're going to kind of go through what I like to call the housekeeping, talking about the different controls and things that you might see. Now, they did just recently change the format of this platform here, so it might be a little bit different, but you'll get the gist of it here. With the icons that you see, if you see a hand icon, go ahead and hit your hand icon. That way I can see that you guys can all hear me. That's how you raise your hand. Thanks, Raul. I see you. All right. I see a couple other hands going up. Alrighty. And then I can put all of them down at once with just one little click of a button. The other icons that you're going to see, your microphone might be orange or red or green. I think everybody right now is in the listen only. I will upload or open up the microphones here in just a little bit. That way you guys can actually ask some questions. The video icon here, I have my video on here so you can see me. I'll probably turn it off here once we get the ball rolling, just because it takes up a lot of bandwidth and kind of kicks people out sometimes. So I just want to say hello, and that way you guys can see that this is how it works. There's also a question icon. If you have any questions that you want to ask in the middle of the presentation, or if you don't have a microphone, you can hit that question icon and type in your question, and I will monitor that question box the entire time that we are on here. So those are just some of the icons that you're going to see while you are listening tonight. But at this time, I would like to go ahead and turn the reins over to Mr. Donnie Graves with Windy Hill Foliage and let him tell you guys all about his great company. Thanks for joining us, Donnie.
Well, thank you so much, Kayla, for having me. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate the partnership we've had with National Training over the years. And if you are considering going to National Training or are already enrolled, you're definitely on the right path. They do a great job of preparing you for the industry. It's just a really, really great school. So
We
typically,
appreciate
if
that.
oh well, we appreciate you guys. So typically, what we do is one of the first things I do when I'm talking to a new student or a student driver that's coming out of school. I ask them where they went to school, and we definitely give preferential treatment to the guys and the gals that go to national training. So the nice thing is Windy Hill is a smaller family owned business. We're not a big mega carrier. So if you like what I have to say and you decide to come with us after you get your licensing and your training at national training, we would definitely want to give you a job and entertain that. And I'll help you through that process. We're a small company, so I don't hand you off to somebody else. I'll physically walk you through that process myself. And usually I go out and see every class. I'll be at National on Thursday. So
Yep.
it's just a great school, and we do appreciate them letting us come in and recruit their students. So what we do is if you decide to come with us, I'd physically get you to my yard in Eustis. Have to come down for about a half a day. We're in Eustis, not Houston, Texas. Eustis, Florida, a couple hours from national training. Physically get you down there. We'll honor the physical you took to get into school, do a little paperwork, and send you for a pre-hired drug screen. Soon as we get that done, we'll put you out there for training. We put you out there for 4 weeks of paid training. They pay you $600 a week while you're in training. And I see Kayla's just really cruising through all the job qualifications and all the
Going back
different.
and forth.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So if you guys see anything there that piques your interest, I'll certainly have a time of answering any questions you have. So you must be 23 years of age, and you get the Class A CDL at national training, and then we put you to work. So 4 weeks of paid training, they pay you $600 a week in training, and during that time you'll get the hang of everything. Dealing with shippers and receivers and our main lanes of travel. Um, and once that training process is done, and your trainer feels you're ready to go, we send you home for a couple days, let you get rested up, packed up, and then we put you in your own truck. At that point, we start paying you cents per mile. Our base pay is 46 cents a mile. Right out of the gate, after 3 months, you'll go to 48. 6 months, you'll go to 49. 9 months, you'll go to 50. In a year, you go to 51. So they're constantly giving you raises during that first year, and there's always some bonus money involved that you are earning while you're driving. It's up to 6 cents in bonuses, fuel bonus, performance bonus, safety bonus. It's most of it's tied to safety and fuel, and that's just an extra check you'll get 4 times a year. Um,
Nice.
the types of freight we haul, we're pulling multi-stop garden center loads out of Florida. Windy Hill Foliage, foliage being our main niche in the market. And it's going to, typically these garden center loads are going to Walmart, Lowe's, and Home Depot. So there's a little bit of labor involved in them. You have to tailgate the product. But they're not asking you to do anything for free, so they pay you extra. It's either $25 or $50 a stop, depending on how much labor's involved. So
Okay.
once the plant loads are done, and they're typically 15 to 25 stops per trailer, so you're
Nice.
looking if you can make up to $400 or $500 in a couple days and stop pay alone. And let's be realistic, everybody got into trucking to make money. It's a great
Absolutely.
industry. It's a great industry, and it's a very lucrative industry. And we are an over-the-road company, so you would be out 3 weeks at a time minimum. We are over the road pays more money than most of the other types of trucking. So, there's a
Yeah,
give and
that's the
take.
reality of it.
Yeah, there's a give and take in everything in life. So if you're going to do over the road, you're going to be away from home more, but you're going to make more money. So that's kind of how that works. For every week you're out, you get a day and a half off. So if you stay out three
Okay.
weeks, you'll get four or 5 days off. If you stayed out 10 weeks, you get 15 days off. We don't run New York, New England. All our trucks are equipped with the latest satellite technology, all the bells and whistles like the big companies have, but we are a smaller company. Call comms, pre-pass, electronic logs, um, refrigerator, microwave, inverter. They're kind of trimmed out like a little apartment when you get them. It's 98, 99% no touch freight. So there's labor involved on the front side with the plant, but then after that, it's 98, 99% no touch freight. And
Okay.
yeah, we've got all the same benefits. We got health insurance, 401k. We'll match. You put in $4, we'll put in two. So we really, really try to be competitive with the benefits. We've got dental insurance, vision, short-term disability, long-term disability, life insurance, any type of insurance you could ask for. We offer
Okay.
tuition reimbursement. Tuition reimbursement's a big one. Everybody's paying to get into school, so we offer tuition reimbursement. We pay you back at $200 a month after 30 days of solo driving, so we'll help pay for your education that way. Paid vacation after a year. We've got a rider policy. You can take your wife or your girlfriend. They're very liberal with that policy. Obviously, happy drivers are productive drivers, so we try to do our best to keep you happy out there. We've got a pet policy in place. The bulk of our fleet is an automatic, Volvo automatic, but we do have three different models. We have Freightliners, Internationals, and Volvos. But the bulk of the fleet, I would say 85% of our tractors now are automatic. We have 150 tractors and 300 trailers. So we've been in business for about 40 years, so we've stood the test of time. But most
Absolutely.
importantly, you're thinking about going to national training, and set your mind at ease. It's a great school. They do a fabulous job of preparing you for the industry, and their pass rate is super super high. The only reason you're not going to pass at national training is if because you have to leave school for some reason. If you complete the
Yep.
class, you'll pass. Their pass rate is 99, 98, 99%. I mean, it's
Yep.
way up there. So you can kind of set your mind at ease because everybody's nervous around tests, and they do a great job of preparing you for that. So you just have to relax and let the training take over.
Absolutely. That's the gist of it there is you just gotta put your mind to it and be dedicated to getting it done no matter what, and we'll make sure you get there and get you with a
Yes.
great company like Windy Hill. Now I see on this one slide, Donnie, this here, right here, I hire veterans. Can you tell us about some of the opportunity that a veteran might have with Windy Hill?
Yes, we have an expert in veteran affairs in our home office, and I can get you in touch with them. Basically, we start you at a penny higher on the pay scale, so you make a little bit more money. coming right out of the gate. But we do have a veteran specialist at our home office. So we have
Very
two
nice.
locations that I should add. We have a terminal in Eustis and a terminal in Marshfield, Wisconsin. So we kind of go in between the two. And we only run the Midwest and the Southeast, which doesn't mean a lot now, but when you guys get out there and start working, it will. There's a lot of freight in the Midwest and the Southeast, so it keeps you pretty
Yeah.
busy.
And
No
it
New
keeps you out of
England,
those
no New
crazy
York.
places.
Yes.
Very nice. Well, let's let some questions take place. If anybody has any questions, you can raise your hand or you can throw them into the chat box. I did get one in the chat box about the dogs. They saw that the dog, you guys have a pet policy. Is there any kind of um, restriction as far as breeds or size?
There are some breed restrictions, and the animal has to be up to standards with its shots and have vet certification and all that. But
Okay.
they're very accommodating with that. I mean, they make you pay a deposit, um, but they really, if you are really want to bring your animal with you, they will allow that.
Okay. And
So.
then I know you said that they were pretty liberal on the rider policy. Um, is there like any kind of age restrictions or anything like that?
10 years old is the minimum age, but not really. You can take, I have guys that will work and their children will be out of school for the summer and they'll take their son or their daughter with them for a couple of weeks. So just
Yeah,
to show them how it is. So we're very liberal with that policy. You
very
can
cool.
take your wife or your girlfriend. It's obvious you can't take them both at the same time, but you know, uh,
Yeah,
but they're
that might not go over too well.
that's not going to fly. But they're real relaxed with that policy. They want one of the things is those two policies, the pet policy and the rider policy, kick in after 6 months of driving. They
Okay.
want you to be, comfortable with that equipment before we put anybody's life in danger or any distractions in the vehicle with you. So, but as long as your work performance doesn't change, they're very liberal to that policy. I have guys that take their girlfriend or their wife out with them, and they kind of stay in the truck with them all the time. So they're pretty good with that. They
Okay.
want you to be happy.
Yeah, for sure. Because when you're happy, your work is happy. So
That's right. That's right.
we did get another question in the box about can a driver stay just in the southeast, and what all do you guys consider the southeast?
Well, if you're looking at a map of the United States and you drew a line from Minnesota to Texas, straight down the map, if you're staring at it and look to the right, that's where we're running. It's about
Okay.
33 states. In the Midwest and the Southeast, we're all the way up into Wisconsin, Chicago. No New England, no New York. Those areas are problematic. So just the Midwest and the Southeast. We're all over the Carolinas, Texas, Chicago, and into Wisconsin. So that would
Okay.
be considered the Midwest and Southeast. We're the next best thing to regional. We don't have anything regional or have anything dedicated, but we do have a lot of repeat customers. So you're going to get some familiarity with what you're doing.
Okay.
Kind of, say, well, if I'm in Texas, I know I'm going to be going to this area, and typically I'll be going to Kentucky after that. So you're going to get some familiarity with what you're doing, but you're not going to get bored with doing a big circle each week. But having a terminal in Florida, it's very easy to get to Florida because
Yeah.
there's a lot of people that live here. A lot of goods coming to Florida to service the needs of the people. Not a lot leaving. That's why they keep you out there for 3 weeks. But they're very, very good about getting you home on time.
Good. So I see this never more than 2 days away from home.
Yeah, that's
What does that come
well,
into play as?
yeah, because we run the Midwest and the Southeast. So if you have something happen, you can always get home fairly quickly.
Okay,
You know.
that makes
So
sense. Very good. I hope that answered your question, Raul, about the southeast. So they do like you said the over the road, but it's just the Midwest and southeast. Good question though. Let's see. Let me look through here and see if we got any more questions. If anybody else has questions, you can raise your hand as well. That way I can make sure I call on you. Let's see here. Just skimming through, make sure I've covered everything. Um, as far as the violations, whenever you guys say not may not have any major driving violations in the past 5 years and no more than two minor in the last 3 years, What qualifies as a major versus a minor?
Okay, a minor would be red light cameras, small speeding tickets. The cutoff for speeding is 15 miles an hour. So 15 miles an hour or above the posted limit. So if you're doing 75 and a 60, that's a problem. If you're doing 74 and a 60, that would be 14 over. That's okay. So 15 miles an hour or above is the cutoff. So
Okay.
15 miles an hour or above is considered a major moving violation. Rear end collisions, DUIs, careless driving, reckless driving, any of those are going to be considered a major moving violations. Any accidents, they won't hire you 5 years from the date of the accident. And we go
Okay.
by the date that the infraction incurred, not the date you corrected it. Because sometimes something will happen and you won't have a license for a little while, and then you correct it. So we go by the first date, the violation date.
Okay. Along the same lines of that, what about anybody with like a background or any criminal history? What's your
Well,
policy on that?
the company, the standard company policy is no felonies in the last 10 years and no misdemeanors in the last 5. But we have a little leadway with that, and we take everything into consideration, and we kind of try to work through it on a case by case basis.
Okay.
So they will not hire you if you're on probation or parole. Um,
Understandable.
but some of that other stuff, we take everything into account. We're a smaller company, so we've got some leadway with that. So if you've got some issues, please just talk to me on a personal level. You can call the 800 number. You call it right now; it'll ring on my cell phone. So you just call that number, and I can talk you through the process. And sometimes we can work through that stuff if you've got a background. We try our best.
Very good. All right. Well, if there's no any other questions, go ahead and raise your hands now. Like Donnie said, you can call their 800 number. What is that 800 number, Donnie? I'm going to put it in the chat for everybody.
It's 1-800-864-3404.
All right. I just threw that in the chat for everybody to be able to see, just in case. If you guys have any other questions that you didn't think of, or you think of something, you can give that phone number a buzz. Like Donnie said, it'll ring on his cell phone. We talk to Donnie on a regular basis, so he's. I really feel like you guys are a great opportunity for a lot of people, and I know you guys hire a lot of our students, so we always appreciate that.
We thank you so much for letting me come and talk to you tonight, and I'll see you guys on Thursday. If you have any
Yes,
more
sir.
questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Johnny. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and we will see you on Thursday.
Thank you very much, and bye bye.
Bye bye. All right, guys. So we're gonna keep rocking and rolling here. I am gonna turn my camera off just because it keeps alerting me that it's lagging. So, but we're gonna kind of keep rocking and rolling. A little bit about our school here. If you haven't spoke with one of our admissions representatives, you might not know much of this yet. So we're gonna go through it a little bit. We were incorporated in 1978 as a proprietary post-secondary vocational education institution, which means we just celebrated 45 years in the business. We are committed to providing a strong curricula. We have programs that emphasize practical, usable skills blended with a relevant general education foundation. We have a caring environment with personal attention and close faculty-student interaction. With an open door admission policy, there's always a class starting soon. As I said, we just celebrated 45 years in business. So that means we've successfully trained over 40,000 men and women since 1978 who have enjoyed a 98% course completion rate, as Donnie mentioned earlier, and an astonishing 100% job placement rate in their chosen field of truck driving and heavy equipment operating. Because we do heavy equipment operating too. We have a 1.25 mile private highway. That's this little kind of arrowhead shaped design that you see right here. 1.25 miles all the way around. You're going to need a lot of laps on this. This is where we're going to teach you how to upshift, downshift, and stop a 70-foot tractor trailer. By the end of your first week behind that wheel, you're going to be driving on public roads. Our campus in whole is 350 acres. One of our biggest reasons for having this private highway is the fact that we still teach manual transmissions. We are going to be teaching you a 9 and 10 speed transmissions. As Donnie mentioned, they are a mixed fleet. A lot of the industry is going towards the automatic, but there's still a lot of it that's manual and a lot of mixed fleet companies. So if you are testing on an automatic transmission, that's all you're legally allowed to drive. So it's best to have that manual transmission endorsement on your license. You might find yourself asking the question, why should I drive a truck for a living? And simply put, it's job security. Think about all the different things that you buy and touch, that how many things have been on trucks at one point or another. Thousands of people have had their very first truck driving experience or truck experience in general in our trucks. We have cab over engines, we have conventional condos, we've got sleeper cabs, we've got day cabs, and we even do Class B training as well. If you've never seen the inside of a sleeper cab tractor trailer, this might be what it looks like. Different makes and models are going to have a little bit different design, of course, but they always have nice, comfortable seats for the captain and the co-pilot, as I like to call them, because that's where you spend most of your time, is in those seats. Got your bunk, it might fold up to be where you have a table underneath it, or it might just fold up, or the table will fold down, and that's where your bunk will come to. Lots of storage. Most of them are going to stock them out with a microwave and maybe a TV, different things with different companies, of course, but they're going to give you most of the comforts of home. Different driving jobs. There's tons of different driving jobs all over the country. You can do anything from trailers to flatbeds to tankers. Tankers being like gas or liquid or dry bulk, refrigerated units for like your groceries or perishables, and then of course intermodal, which is these shipping containers for the cargo ships in the rail yards. School qualifications. With every student that comes through here, we are going to check their driving record, their criminal background, their physical abilities. Everybody's got to take a drug test, and most importantly, we want to know your intensity to succeed. We ensure that you're going to benefit from our training before you come here, and we want to make sure that you are employable, because that is the ultimate goal. Our program is a 4-week hands-on residence training program. Again, a little bit about our campus. It's 350 acres. We are right here along the St. Johns River. So we've got this 1.25-mile track. We've got a state testing pad here. You see our backing pad over here. So we're going to teach you how to do all the different backing maneuvers. Got all of our different trucks. You're going to spend a little bit of time in our classroom. Could be 2 to 3 to a table, just depending on the class size. Going to go over different PowerPoint presentations, maybe some videos. Everybody is provided with their class book and everything that you need. We also have a state-of-the-art simulator here. So if anybody's having any difficult times, we can get you in with one of the simulator instructors and kind of work out any of those kinks that you might have. Career services, that's my department here. We have been perfecting our graduate to work program for over 45 years, and it really does work. We start working with the classes on day 1 of training. I'm going to come into your classroom and do a presentation with you on the very first day of class. I'm going to give you all the stepping stones that you need, and we are going to help you every step of the way. We use one-on-one private counseling sessions as well. We can direct our students to companies that would be a good match for both the company and the student. That first year of trucking is really important, so it's super important that you stay with that first company for at least a year. Once you've got your CDL, we have a lot of different resources for you. We have a job board, truckschool.com/jobs. If you're interested, you can even go check that out now and see what's out there. We also partner with Driver Pulse and 10th Street to where we can help you actually send applications once you're a student of ours. If you're coming from out of town, we do get a lot of people from out of town. You might ask where you're going to stay. We have a partnership with the Green Cove Springs Inn. It's about 7 miles from our training grounds here. So you see, it's a single-story, smaller extended stay hotel, but it's quiet, it's clean, it's safe, and it's close by. So we have a great rate with them. I believe these rates might have just changed, so don't quote me on these, but this is a little bit about what it looks like here. Got a nice patio area with some barbecue grills and tables, so you guys can cook out while you're here for class. Now the big question. Let's talk money, right? I'm going to go ahead and just skip through here to the bottom of it. That way you're not watching this right. Let's see here. It didn't keep it. So the tuition itself is $7,995. $100 admin fee brings it to $80.95. There's some other out-of-pocket expenses. $65 drug test. Like I said, everybody has to take a drug test before you come to school. The third-party state driving test, that's the end of the course where you're going to go through and do your pre-trip and your bagging and you're driving on the road to actually obtain your license. That's $450. We discount it down to $300 for you for the first time that you take the test. A little bit about the different financing options. We have a multitude of different types of ways to pay for school. We have everything from in-house financing with our in-house credit for loans based off of your credit. We have outside financing from banks and credit unions. Mia Share, which is a company we work with a lot. They are an income share agreement company. WIOA, which is Workforce Career Source. You must qualify with them first and then qualify with us to be able to use their grants. VA benefits. We get a lot of veterans that come through, and we always love all of our veterans, of course. We always thank all of our veterans for their service. You will have to have your DD-214 and your certificate of eligibility in order to use those benefits. We also work with VA vocational rehab and state vocational rehab. You have to have a documented disability or approval through either one of those to be able to use their funding. But by far, our most popular payment is by cash. So whether you're paying with actual cash, dollar bills, or check or credit card, about 66% of our students pay in full for the course. Great way to get some credit card, but like your rewards points on your cards. We get a lot of people that do that. A little bit about our company in general. We have industry recognition. As Donnie said, they're aware of the training that our students get here. One of the funniest things I hear, and it's a great compliment to the school itself, is when people go to work for companies, they ask them, where'd you go to school? You tell them national training. They're like, oh, you guys know how to back up, because we focus a lot on it, that's for sure. We have companies and the jobs. We have relationships with wonderful companies like Windy Hill, but probably 150 different companies that we work with on a pretty regular basis. We have time-tested proprietary teaching methods. One of the great things about that is we actually have several instructors here that were students here themselves, 15 plus years ago. And we have our expansive 350-acre training facility. As I mentioned, we always appreciate all of our students from the VA, the Department of Veterans Affairs, North Florida Community Action Agency, Florida Vocational Rehab, Career Source of Florida, and the Department of Interior Bureau of Indian Affairs. Like I said, national training is where the trucking companies come for new drivers. During your time here, you will probably talk to about 7 or 8 different companies that are going to come see you while you're here. Like I said, Windy Hill, TMC comes to every class. Swift comes to a lot of classes. Covenant. We have a multitude of different companies that we work with that know what kind of driver they're going to get out of our school. Does anyone have any questions for me as far as the training program here that I can answer for you? I am going to put our phone number in the chat as well. So if you haven't spoken to one of our admissions representatives, make sure you do so first thing tomorrow, because you're only missing out on time and money out there for sure. A few special announcements while you guys think of any questions that you might have. We do have another webinar coming up 2 weeks from tonight. Our special guest that evening will be Brad Bolden from TNC Transportation. We also have an open house coming up in about just under a month, so October 7th. That's a Saturday. It's going to take place from 9 to 12. It's a great event. You can bring your family, bring your kids, bring your friends, come out and take a tour of our campus, meet with our instructors, go for a ride in a truck, and even operate a piece of heavy equipment. It's a lot of fun. Again, I'd like to thank Donnie for joining us tonight. We always appreciate him partaking in these webinars and talking to our students. And I'd like to thank you guys for joining me this evening and taking a little bit of time out of your night to come in and listen to what we have to say. We always appreciate you guys. If you have any questions, make sure you call that number first thing tomorrow, 272-4000. Again, my name is Kayla. We look forward to having you all here and speaking with you soon. You guys have a great night.